Let's do that. I want to see how many there really are. So when you do that, you still have over 1 billion results up here, it says. But once again, let's scroll down here as far as we can go. And once again, when you reach that magical number 43, see, there's no more you can do. There's related searches, but there's no more on this search. You cannot go any farther than that. And when you get back up here, you have 429 results. That's it. So the 1 billion results that you supposedly had, you will not find those 1 billion results. You are gated. You are digitally being gatekept from them. It's not something you can reach on here. And you can, by the way, try this with any search for anything. I have tried it now with several other things, just random, like a random movie star's name and other stuff. Like, try it with anything. Do this with anything. You can replicate this experiment all day. It is the same so far. I have not found anything that just goes on and on endlessly. It is now capped at between 150 and 500 results for everything that I have tried. And same goes for Bing. And these are your main search engines that everyone's using. So even if you're personally using some other search engine, the whole rest of the world, the majority of people in that world are basically being given this tiny handful of curated information. That's what's going on now. That's where the level that we are at. And you will notice as you're digging through here that what's being served up to you is all the official sources. Officially sanctioned, officially approved government institutions and organizations and colleges and universities and approved official mainstream media sources. But here's my question for you. What if I really do just want to know what Bob from Oklahoma thinks about the Super Bowl? What if I just want to see his Super Bowl blog that he made on some random web page that he created? What if I don't care if Bob doesn't work for ESPN or a specific university or a specific mainstream media outlet? What if I don't care if Bob doesn't have, degrees behind his name or 15 letters on his business card or the official sanction of an official institution from the official system? What if I really just want to have online what used to be known offline in the real world as a conversation with an actual person who's not representing the face of some corporation or some official entity? In reality, when you're going down the street or you're at the grocery store and you run into a person or you're talking to somebody at the library or whatever, you don't vet them first. You don't say, well, I want to know before we have this conversation and you tell me what your thoughts and feelings and opinions on this matter are, can you please give me all of your official titles from the official organizations that have officially sanctioned you to officially talk about this topic? Like, you don't do that. You don't do that in real life. People in reality don't vet conversations they have with other human beings as if you can only have them with people who are system approved about specific certain things. Like, that's ridiculous. If that's the way the real world worked, many of us would be completely alone, having never communicated with another human being ever. Okay? And if you look up more controversial topics having to do with things that and we all know what's recently been censored pretty hard. If you look up those things, they're completely sanitized altogether from search results now. A couple years ago, before the Rona happened, there was maybe 1 or 2 websites that you could find that were actual organizations that have their sources also cited. But now, you would have to know the name of that thing to specifically find it. You would have to know the name of it. So you're not going to happen upon it by accident or by chance or have the option put before you so that you can make your own decision about that topic. It's just been wiped completely clean of those quote unquote impure thoughts. Proof that they don't want you to escape the matrix. So you can't accidentally find things anymore. You have to know exactly what you're looking up. And maybe they'll deliver it to you. Maybe. It depends. First, you might have to wade through page after page after page of counter narrative to get to the narrative that you're actually trying to research or look into or find out about. You get one answer. Remember when Eric Schmidt said there was going to be one answer? That's how this is supposed to work. One answer.
What my question is leading to is help us understand where's the future of search going.
Well, when you use Google, do you get more than one answer? Of course you do.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that's a bug.
Yeah.
Because we should be able to give you the right answer just once. We should know what you meant, and we should never be wrong.
So who owns, in 2022, in the 21st century, who owns the narrative? Who owns the perception of reality? Who owns the perspective? Where is this top-down image coming from? And so what this is doing is it's, first of all, not only is it culling information, hiding information, presenting one unified view of everything that is the approved view that everyone can see and know about and learn about and have reaffirmed over and over and over, but it's also pushing people towards social media because that's the one place where you can interact with other people. And I've done videos before. We have talked about this extensively, the kinds of feedback loops and behavior modifications that are employed on these platforms. It's well known that Silicon Valley has come out and talked about this in detail about the things that are going on in the various social media platforms, but that's where everyone gravitates towards because you're not going to find Bob's blog. I feel like this is horrifying, that this is the level that they've now made this place to. And the fact that this is going to then be transformed into the metaverse. I mean, what is that? That's like they murdered the internet. It's freaking dead. And now you just put the wear the screen on your face to stare at the dead body of what used to be the internet. It's pathetic. This is really sad. And they already, in that whole metaverse thing, by the way, that we talked about, they did already say that they were going to teach creators how to make the thing. So they're already talking about the levels of control that are going to be placed on what is allowed to be made in that place as well. So that's all going to be just the same levels, if not even more controlled levels of curated, controlled information. When you really step back and look at this, how digitally speaking, is this any different than the wall that Truman slams into when he's trying to escape at the end of the Truman Show? You know, the fake wall with the clouds painted on it, the optical illusion that's made to look like an endless horizon out at sea, but it's just right there and he slams right into it because it doesn't go on forever because it's actually a very small bubble. That's what this is. This is a digital bubble. This is like the Matrix bubble inside the Truman Show dome. That's basically what this is now. And in that way, how is this any different from a cyber Potemkin village? I mean, it has this appearance, right, of billions of search results. There's a billion sites about this. I could learn about this for my whole life and never run out of varied opinions about it. Never run out of different viewpoints and amazing new things to learn from different people telling me their, thoughts on this matter. It could be all kinds of crazy perspectives, and you can really broaden your horizons and expand by learning about the world through the eyes of other people. But it's not. That's not what any of this is now. This is all just one tiny drop in a bucket of just hand-fed, curated, officially approved stuff. That's it. So it has this appearance of vast amounts of information just strung out in ones and zeros as far as the eye can digitally roam, but they've actually painted a wall around it. So the horizon's not really that far at all. It's just a few pages in and about 400 results, and that's it. So it's just a handful of carefully curated information that gets promoted to the masses, and that's what everyone gets to know here. That's it. Think of the ramifications of that going forward. This is beyond 1984, okay? It's beyond it. Orwell couldn't have, he didn't even get to the point of it being to this level. He didn't. This is insane. This is horrifying because it has ramifications offline too. This isn't just like, well, that's online and that's it. This is where future generations are going to go to get information on everything. And they're only going to have this very limited view. This isn't everybody connecting to each other in some magical online universe that's just stretches out as far as you can possibly go in all directions. That's not what this is at all, even remotely, even a little bit. I'm starting to wonder if people in China get more than 400 results. That's that's the level, okay? And supposedly they got the totally censored internet. How is this not? How is this not? Because you can't just accidentally find someone's blog anymore. You can't accidentally find anything anymore. You can get this very small amount of information that's carefully been selected that's officially okay for you to have, and that is it. My own parents didn't censor what movies I watched as a teenager as much as this is censoring what I can look up and find on this internet. So I guess Google's everybody's daddy now, and Bing is everyone's mommy. That's a pretty traumatic childhood. Anyway, I guess I just needed to show you guys that because when I saw it for myself, I'd like to say it's not shocking, but you know, it would go a pretty far way to explain why things feel so simulated online these days. If this is the level that we're at with the amount of information that people are quote unquote allowed to see, this would be like if every radio station you flip to, every single song that played was the exact same type of music and all of it was auto-tuned. This would be like if you went to an art museum and every single piece of art vaguely resembled each other, and there really wasn't a lot of difference going on in what you were looking at. This kind of thing is going to create a world that is so bland and boring and stale and hollow and trite and derivative and lifeless and soulless. And it's a giant digital Potemkin village. That is what this is becoming. This is not going to create imaginative thinkers with critical thinking skills and unsatiable curiosity for the world. That's the opposite. What this is the opposite of what is going to happen. And I'm even starting to wonder if this level of control, this level of thought policing and control is part of why we're seeing such just lack of imagination when it comes to our media, when it comes to our music, when it comes to our art these days. Did you guys see the clothing that was coming out in just basic department stores in the last couple years? I don't know what